So I've been wanting to make this video for a while. I want to talk about the ending of Birdman, the 2014 movie starring Michael Keaton. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, obviously spoiler alerts in this episode. It's if you're unfamiliar, it's a dark comedy, I suppose, about this action star from the 80s, Regan Thompson, played by Michael Keaton, who is kind of a washed up dude, and he decides that he wants to do his own play on Broadway, and the movie follows the days leading up to opening night of this play, and he's essentially going through a hardcore midlife crisis as the but it's kind of like a backstage drama type of shit. So watch the fucking movie if you haven't watched it. But I've been wanting to make this video because as soon as I saw the movie, I saw it at the cinemas like 10 years ago when it came out. And I was instantly, like many people, interested in the ending and wanted to figure out whether my interpretation of the ending aligned with any others out there on the internet. And I hadn't seen this anywhere. I looked on Wikipedia. The director and the writers talked about how they wanted to end it, and I think they had a different ending to begin with. Yeah, but anyway, so this is what basically what happens in the movie is that and the spoilers begin here. So the final scene in the play, Michael Keaton's character, he in the play he commits suicide. In the he's fucking Regan Thompson. He's going through all this fucking turmoil. He's kind of reached the end of his tether, so he actually tries to commit suicide on stage. Then he wakes up in hospital. All the suicide attempts has done is just blown off his nose, which he's got a fake surgically reconstructed nose when he looks himself in the hospital. And when he's in the bathroom looking at his nose, he sees Birdman, his pesky alter ego, the kind of like the manifestation of his like Hollywood greed and desire to be like a big star. So Birdman's on the toilet. He says goodbye to Birdman. And then he steps back outside his room. He opens the window. He sees these birds flying outside, and so he jumps off the ledge, climbs out into the ledge. So then his daughter, Sam, played by Emma Stone, she returns, and she sees he's not in the room. She notices the open window. And so then she scans the ground, and then she looks slowly up, and the final shot is her smiling, looking up at the sky. So there's kind of confusion there in terms of like what's actually happened. Does this dude have superpowers? Is he actually flying around? Here's what me thinks, right? So the whole movie is essentially a commentary on the desire to get external validation for yourself, to be considered different, and to pursue a career in entertainment as a way to validate your own ego. And I think towards the end of the movie, Regan Thompson kind of realizes that he's reached the end of that battle. He's going to get a bad review from the bitchy Tabitha, the New York Times, the drama columnist, theater columnist lady, who hates his guts because he's a Hollywood scumbag. He's not a real artist. He realizes that the whole play is like a futile attempt to, like have a rebirth in his career. It's not going to work. And he's reached the end of his tether. And so I feel like he's disgusted that he's still alive, and that the Tabitha, Sam, his daughter, tells him that Tabitha has written a glowing review, says that, you know, like his suicide attempt, his like real art is kind of like this new breakthrough, this kind of like Andy Kaufman, Gonzo-esque new style of acting to take big risks on the stage. And he's kind of like disgusted by that, that it's, you know, it's worked, but, you know, by complete accident, even though he's been toiling away for years trying to actually make it work. So I basically think that he actually kills himself. He thinks, fuck this. I don't want to play this game anymore. He jumps out the window, he splats on the floor. And then his daughter is smiling because she looks down and she sees her dad splattered down on the sidewalk. And then she looks up and she starts smiling at the sky because it's kind of like a trauma induced hallucination. And she's seeing her father as Birdman flying above her. And it essentially symbolizes that whatever the crazy fame whore gene Regan Thompson had, his desire to be validated, and he got that like note from the drunk playwright when he was a kid, and like that inspired him to go out and like keep looking for validation from strangers and chasing love in all the wrong places, all that shit. The ending basically hints that she's got the same thing. And rather than her facing reality and accepting reality that her father's dead on the floor, she chooses to lose herself in the fantasy because the reality is too, the truth is too difficult a pill to swallow. And so just like her father, Sam's going to spend her whole life oscillating between reality and fantasy, drifting in and out of each. And this is kind of hinted at throughout the movie that Sam, she's got like a substance abuse problem. She has all these convos with Mike Shiner where he's like, "You're big," like as in you've got like big, you know, big imagination. You're not just going to be like a person who's just going to accept reality. You're going to play at the margins and kind of embrace the craziness. And so essentially I kind of think that the whole ending is kind of like a commentary on the fact that art and the pursuit of being an artist is kind of like a cope. It's a cope for those who can't handle reality. And it's genetic. And you know, it's probably like trauma induced in in those moments when you can either be like, this is going to be really fucking difficult and accept this and try and move on, or you can just be like, fuck that. I'm just going to pretend I see something that's not really there and keep chasing that for the rest of my life. So anyway, that's what I thought at the time. Am I crazy? Let me know if you agree. Cheers.